Alright, so I'm chilling here with Phoenix, about to ask her a couple questions for this interview. Alright, so let's start it off with, is your real name actually Phoenix?
Yes, my real name is actually Phoenix. I've been asked that question a lot. Real name, always been, always will be.
That's really cool.
Sometimes people don't believe me that it is my real name, but it is.
It is. It is.
Yes.
Yes. So, your musical style is obviously quite different from other people's, but what would you describe it as?
I guess it's new age, rock and roll, some sort of grunge rock. I don't know, grunge rock.
So, where does your motivation come from as a person?
Pretty much everything around me. Everything that I've seen, everything that I've done, everything. Simple things, little details.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a village, actually on a farm outside of a village in the middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan.
Alright, so from what you remember, how old were you when you first started playing music?
I would say I was at least 3 or 4, for sure. I know I was doing random stuff on my parents' piano that they had at the farm, and I would tinker away on that, and I would sing. My dad told me once, though, that I was like somewhere under the age of 2, and they had gotten me some sort of like record player, and it had like songs, and he said that they would wake up, he would wake up sometimes, it'd be like 5 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't even 2, and I'd be sitting there playing my record player over and over, singing with the music, and he could hear me in my room doing it for hours. He said he'd go with the same song over and over. So I think I pretty much just started talking and started singing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, have you played in any other bands, or is this your first project?
Definitely not my first project. I've been making music for a long time. Lots of different projects. Lots of different experiments, I call them. And Phoenix just kind of came out of all of that. So it's actually a collection of an old band I was in that inspired me. It's Phoenix Christ. That was a band I was in for a while. And there was a band back when I was 16 that my ex was in. It was called Grit. And I think they changed their name to Coil. I mean, I got involved doing some singing for those guys. I think I was only about 16. So then there's been all kinds of other things like Silver Voodoo and Babylon, which is like a dubstep, solo, rap, goth thing I'm doing, which is totally solo with a bunch of effects and dubstep stuff, and it's kind of wild. But yeah, I do a lot of different random music things.
That's awesome.
I probably won't ever stop doing different random music things of all different genres. I think one day I'll probably just up and throw out a, country album, Who knows? I don't know.
So, what bands would you say you're similar to?
I don't really find that I'm similar to really any band. I think there's some comparisons because of like my influences, but I'm also influenced by just so much stuff that it comes out in its own way, and I'm really stubborn about letting it come out in its own way. I don't want to like learn, someone else's riffs and make my music sound like their music. I just want my music to sound like my music. So I don't know. I've had people compare a lot I've heard a big one a lot is like a Nirvana, you know.
Yeah.
I actually hear that one a lot. It's common, which is cool because I actually share a birthday with Kurt Cobain, so I've always thought that, that works, you know.
Yeah, that works.
That's cool. Nirvana's cool. I don't mind that. Someone, you know, on a project I was doing a few years ago mentioned it had a Motley Crue feel, but I don't know. It's grunge rock, I guess. Nirvana.
So, what would your favorite album be right now? By a band.
Favorite album by a band right now? That's an awesome question. Holy cow, and that's hard to pick just one. Currently, like 2015 or like a
Currently,
all time?
yes.
Currently, I think the album I've been listening to the most is an old album. I've been listening to a bunch of Ravel stuff, just left, right, and center. I've just been all about Ravel again. They're an old band, but they're badass. And now, actually, they just started this band, Genuflect, and so I've been jamming to a lot of Genuflect's new album, which is kick-ass, and I think it's called Laughing As We Fall. I think it's a good, I don't really pay attention to album names anymore, I just steal all my music, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're on Facebook and YouTube, Genuflect, the new album, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so with that being said, what types of music would you consider your favorite?
Definitely my favorite type of music has always been the kind of outcast, you know, darker edged, you know, real life lyric, really soulful, aggressive stuff. So that kind of ranges. There's some really, you know, but I have a thing for beats and I like a really catchy beat. So I'm attracted to rock with really catchy beats.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So, like, I like a lot of Disturbed stuff, and I like a lot of old school stuff, Guns N' Roses, you know, Metallica, obviously.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. There's a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you have some singles out right now.
Yes.
And why don't you talk about those a bit about those?
Yeah, 2 singles out right now. I just produced with Mark Rosner of Rosner Management Services, and he helps me get the 2 songs in there. And I had a variety of songs, like I've been writing songs, like I said, my whole life. So
yeah,
getting the chance to take 2 of these and, you know, turn them into something, you know, radio friendly and properly produced and put together. I mean, I've never had that chance before. I've maybe gotten lucky enough to, you know, make some little recording in a buddy's basement, so it was a big deal to get the chance to do these 2 singles, and so I chose Remember Me, which is actually a song that I started writing way a long time ago when I was probably 16, 17, living kind of on the streets and all that kind of stuff, and then progressed, you know, as I got myself off the streets and into a better life. The song kind of progressed, Remember Me, and it's sort of a song about, you know, people who along the way kind of assume, you know, you're never going to get anywhere, and so they just kind of leave you,
yeah,
know, alone. And then originally the song was actually really sad too. And then as I started finding my own strength and inner hope and inner warrior and fighting my way through everything and coming out so farther, you know, so far ahead of what I ever thought I'd get, it was, you know,
yeah,
to get the chance to be produced really made sense to use Remember Me, like, if that makes it, right?
Yeah.
Remember Me, I thought it was a really cool thing. And then If You Dare, I actually wrote that song with Babylon. It was this rappy, rocky thingy, and then it hit me. I was doing I was kind of messing around with the riff on my guitar, and it was really simple, but it was just catchy and hooky, and I liked it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do If You Dare.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent them it was me on a video with my guitar, and and just a raw, I sent them, because I can't be there to produce the stuff.
Yeah.
They're in Vancouver. So I was sending them stuff through the email, and I had sent, it was just me playing and singing at the same time to this guy. And by the time I showed up in Edmonton at JFR Productions to do the proper production, they had a full band and they had put it all together, this song. And it just flowed and it worked, and I'm really happy with the results of If You Dare and Remember Me, and I'm really hoping that a lot of people are going to get the chance, because I'm really stoked for sure about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are on my Facebook page and Reverb Nation page and all that.
So, you're also going on tour in the
Yes.
spring. What are the
Yes.
dates and where are those going to be?
The dates, I think, are still being worked out. From what I'm hearing, it's going to be Calgary, Edmonton, and Saskatoon for sure. And the way Rosner Management works is they have a variety of artists from across Canada, so it's like a showcase tour, kind of to show off who their new artists are and who they've picked up along the way. And so I'll be doing more of a Western Canada chunk of the tour. And that works for me because I have kids and everything, and a family and everything. So it's a first tour for me. It's called the Rise Up Tour, which I thought was really interesting because of the whole Phoenix thing, which is my first tour is Rise Up. So it should be like June 2nd, 3rd, 5th or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I gather, but there'll be more information on that within the next couple weeks probably.
All right. Well, this has been our interview with Phoenix. Thank you
Awesome.
very much for your
I
time.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Kick ass.
See ya.